Can you spot the issue with this recent Sky News interview?
It's undoubtedly a very tough counterterrorism response, and it is very preemptive because they've gone into areas that were the same this week as they were last week and the week before, and they've attacked buildings and people, and they've done a fair amount of damage. And they've gone into 4 areas together, I mean, simultaneously, which they've not done before since the second intifada, which was 2000 to 2005. And so the fear is that this will trigger a third intifada and a general uprising across the West Bank.
Security analyst Michael Clark was asked to discuss the IDF's efforts to dismantle Hamas and Islamic Jihad networks in the West Bank. He claimed these raids could trigger a third intifada, describing it as a general uprising in the West Bank. He also said this.
The question is, why do they choose this moment to do it? Do they really have intelligence of plots that were about to be triggered in the next few days, and they've moved for that reason? Most of us think that that's less likely, but it may be. The Israelis always say we've got evidence of this, but they don't really produce it very publicly, so you have to, in a way, take their word for it.
Here are the facts. These IDF operations are targeting known terror cells based on intel about imminent attacks on Israeli civilians. Just last month, a Hamas suicide bomber attempted an attack in Tel Aviv. The bomb failed and detonated prematurely. Otherwise, hundreds might have died. Since October 7th, there have been over 4,000 attacks by Palestinians, mostly originating from the West Bank. These include a car ramming that killed an Israeli soldier and a stabbing outside a mall in Gan Yavne. Yet Sky News interviews experts who imply the IDF's counter-terrorism operations are provoking an intifada. This isn't analysis, it's victim blaming. Why does this matter? Because when Clark called the previous intifadas uprisings, he left out what they really were. The first and second intifadas weren't just uprisings against soldiers. They were campaigns of terrorism targeting civilians. The 2001 Sbarro Pizza bombing, for example, in Jerusalem, packed with families and children. A suicide bomber walked into the crowded restaurant at lunchtime and detonated his explosive, killing 15 people, 7 of them children and a pregnant woman. One of the terrorists behind the attack, Alam Tamimi, later laughed in an interview when she found out how many kids were among the dead.
את יודעת כמה ילדים נהרגו בסברו? 8.
8. And let's make one thing clear. Israel didn't provoke either intifada. The second intifada was in fact a premeditated campaign orchestrated by Yasser Arafat, not a spontaneous reaction to Israeli action. So no, Sky. Israel isn't provoking a third intifada. It's defending its people from terrorist attacks, despite what these experts claim.